Welcome back to Switched to Linux. We're just going to do a little brief video here today. I'm going to unbox a Raspberry Pi Zero. So let's got this guy in, and we'll talk about this one, what I did, and what I plan to do with this guy. So in the event you are a tinkerer or whatever else, you want to pick one of these up. These are pretty cheap. The whole thing I think is like $35. I'll put a link to this one. I specifically did the one from Argon 40, and the reason I did this one is it came with pretty much everything I needed except the SD card, and it also is a Raspberry Pi Zero without wireless. So you need to ask yourself that question: do you need wireless or do you not need wireless? And in some instances, you might really want the wireless. In the applications, I might use this as a VPN. I might use this as a media center. I might use it as, some other device that's specifically designed to be offline. I don't want there to be a possibility of someone getting into it. And so it's important to be able to have one of these with or without. Now, if you have an application where you're going to be dependent on the internet connection, like if I connected with my to my media center to my home network via wireless, I would want an integrated wireless because it's more reliable than a USB wireless. So you just need to figure out what is your application. So this guy here, according to the kit contents on the back, this has Raspberry Pi Zero, an official Raspberry Pi Zero case, a camera strip, a mini HDMI to HDMI, regular HDMI adapter. That's another important thing because that part alone is a few dollars. A micro USB to USB female. Again, not necessarily something that's easy to find, or necessarily, it's probably don't have one laying around. It does have a pin header. It has a quick start guide, and it does have a carrying case. That was another big thing, is that you could put everything inside of this. So we're going to go ahead and open this guy up. Let me show you guys what is all in the box, and then we'll go ahead and go from there. All right, so here you go. Here's what we got, and we're just going to go ahead and open this guy up. And just open up that box there. If I can get it out, it does contain this box here. So inside of the plastic box, we have the quick start guide. So the quick start guide is going to give you your pin layouts. So you want to keep that around somewhere in the event you need the pins. Who knows, whatever I do may or may not need the pin diagrams, but there they are. All right, so this is the case. So inside of here, we have a few different case pieces. And opening up the case, we have, there's our camera guy, and there's just some rubber mounts, so you can put some rubber mounts. Those are kind of designed to go on the bottom of this guy here. You'll see that we have a strip in the bottom of this for in the event you want to run the UI board out the bottom. That's one of the nice things about the Raspberry Pi Zero. You can run it out the bottom or you can run it out the top. It gives you 3 covers for it. So the 3 covers we have here are the one with the I/O at the top. This guy here, which is going to allow any small amount of cables in and out the top, but also allows a little bit of airflow. Or we just have a solid one here in the event you just need that something solid. So that's what is inside of there. Oh, there's one more thing in the package that was not actually listed on the side of the box, and that is it does come with a heat sink with pre-applied sticky on the back. So we'll go ahead and mount that heat sink on there as well. Here is our I/O input board. So this guy here, we just kind of plug this in onto the Pi, and then it'll allow you to use the ports. And I think there might be a big one and a small one. I don't know. I haven't opened that up, and I won't open that up until I absolutely need it. And then, of course, we have our cables. Once again, 2 cables here. We have a mini HDMI to a regular HDMI, and we have the mini USB to the regular USB. That's something you're going to want. Now, if you're going to be doing a lot of things with this, or you need a couple USB ports, you are going to need a separate USB hub. And then here is the Pi itself. So it is in a nice sealable bag, so I'd recommend keeping that bag around. You'll see how small this guy is. I don't have my regular size Raspberry Pi here to show you that one. It's over in the other room attached to my media center. But here is your Raspberry Pi Mini, or Zero, my apologies. So here is where the SD card mounts in the bottom. Here is your processor. That's where your heatsink's going to go. This is your camera tab over here. So you can grab that camera tab, put that in. This one closest to the edge is for the power. This guy is for the USB. You can also draw power from the top circuits. And here is the mini HDMI out. So you have the ability there to connect that to that, and then run your HDMI port. So there is the Pi Zero. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and mount the heatsink. Let me actually, before I take the back off, I'm just going to see if it's directional. And it should not be directional, so it doesn't matter which way I put it on. So I've got to peel the sticky off there, and then just very carefully, don't touch the side. Just mount that guy on there, and I'm holding it out of camera view because, better view for me. All right, so there we are. Now we are mounted. That should be very firmly mounted up there. And now our Pi has a little heatsink on the top. So that's very good, very useful. That's the type of thing I'd like to see. All right, so now we are set to go. Now, of course, something that is not missing, that is not present in the box is we do not have the SD cards. I didn't care about that part. Several of these packages will come with the SD cards. I don't really care if I have the SD cards or not because I have tons of them laying around. So we're going to mount it this way here inside the box. It should go right down onto those little holes there. It should hold firm and tight. And then we'll have access to the ports. There we go. Okay, I had to slide it in on the side like that, and then it should clip down. Just trying to get it so I can actually access the ports correctly. Okay, and clip it down. Now the downside is this guy here, you're going to have to unclip this guy in order to put the SD card back in, but it is very firmly in. You'll see we have access to all of the I/O ports on the back. We also could put them on the front, and then in this case here, I might just use this one here that has a little bit of airflow in it. These, it doesn't matter which direction they go on, just kind of clip this in place. And so we have access to our ports out this side here. And then next thing I guess we'll do is let's go ahead and mount these little balls on the bottom here. All right. Go. So now it's nice and firmly sits there. So now we have a Raspberry Pi Zero. All right, so that's what's inside the kit. So what am I going to be using this guy for? Well, I'm going to be doing a series of different things with this. You guys let me know the things you would most like to see. One of the early things I think I want to do with this, sooner rather than later, is I want to show people how to use one of these or a regular Raspberry Pi and use the NoTrack script or the Pi-hole script. So in case you don't have a custom router like I have, you can still implement a network-wide block list, which is really great because if you're at home, your smartphone, whatever else, will be, you'll be able to block all those same networks that you're trying to block with a host file on the computer. So we'll go ahead and talk about how to do that and a few other things. Let me know the other things you'd like to see on the Raspberry Pi. As long as it's not super involved, I'll go ahead and give it my best shot to get all those items done. So thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.